Good afternoon, all, and welcome to a Nip and a Half podcast on this Sunday evening. I haven't caught the first half of the United game, Paul, but you said it's not very exhilarating. So I just saw a stat on Twitter halfway through that United have only had one shot on target from open play in the last, is it 3 halves of football or 3 games of football or something? So yeah, not massively exciting, no.
No, dreadful.
Dreadful. Glad I got Bruno then in Telegraph and DreamTeam, but
You've got him for his pens anyway, right?
exactly that. He'll no doubt spunk a second half penalty at some point. How are you, Paul? And how was your fantasy weekend?
Yeah, good. Thanks, Fergi. Fantasy weekend, pretty average. I'm going by mini leagues and overall ranking, and I think I'm pretty static on each of the 3 formats. Uh, I want Film to score just to satisfy the fact that I took Onana finally out of Dream Team, and I sense that he's going to keep a clean sheet after doing so.
It doesn't feel
Um,
like he's kept a clean sheet for weeks and weeks. And when they
nah,
have kept a clean sheet, it hasn't been him in goal.
Yeah, well, he got 0 points last week, and that was from
It's
playing
impressive.
rather than non-playing points. So I knew he was in for a point-free fall. So I thought it was finally time to get rid. And plus, with him looking like he's not playing Europe as well, I'd rather get someone that's going to play both games. So I've got Martinez and goals now. But yeah, okay. I could really do with Man United scoring in the second half because I think Robinson in particular and Telegraph's highly owned amongst engaged managers. So yeah, could really do with Man United making a sub because Hoyland's never going to score ever.
No,
I
I
don't
don't think
think.
he is ever, is he?
Yeah, bring on Xerxes or move Bruno up further up the field as well because he was playing deep in the first half.
Yeah, I've got Robinson on my bench again for the third week on the trot in FPL first bench, and he's had 7-pointer, an 8-pointer, and it probably looks like the way it's going, he's going to get another clean sheet, potentially bonus points as well. So it's just the way I keep playing João Pedro over him. I 50-50 every week. I keep thinking this is the week João Pedro does it, and he just hasn't. He's just nowhere near, is he? So I'm settling this week.
Yeah, I, I'm seldom come on this pod and I'm most interested in FPL, but this week I am most interested in your FPL moves and how you're setting up for the following week. So maybe a different vibe in the pod this week
Yeah.
than
Should,
others.
should, should we start an FPL? How was your week this week?
Yeah, like I mentioned at the start, like pretty middling. I'm on 60. Well, I don't have anybody else. I've not got anybody actively playing, so I've got 63 points, which I think just maintains a grey arrow. I think if maybe if Bruno scores or Fulham keep a clean sheet, I'll maybe drop a little bit, or maybe Diallo. I
Yeah.
think he's quite well owned around me. Um, but yeah, I've got three transfers now, and I'm thinking about only still having double Liverpool.
Double Liverpool,
And
really?
yeah, so I've got two. So I've got Salah and Trent. I've got Pickford in goals. So like thinking of the doublers this week, I've got triple captain still to play. I'm 80% sure I'm going to play it in Salah this week.
Yeah.
But if I didn't, I could play the assistant manager on Arne Slot. Actually, like I quite fancy playing it on Spurs manager, whoever that is at the
Whoever
time,
that is, indeed, after today's
because there's mega
performance.
points up for grabs with
Yeah,
them
yeah.
based on their league position. I think Oliver Glasner's a good one as well, especially the Palace getting beat today. So there's a couple of options. So I might not play it. What I'm thinking just now, I've got João Pedro, who I am removing
And
regardless.
me.
I can't sit with him in my team for another week. He should have been suspended more times than he should have had goals over the last 4 or 5 weeks. So I guess I could go with a large proportion of the masses around me in mini leagues and bring in Gakpo, but I don't necessarily think Liverpool's double's great. Well, it's away to Bournemouth and away to Everton. So I think I'm going to go and die up front for João Pedro, which is roughly straight swap. Like maybe there's like 0.1 or 0.2 difference in it. Thinking of doing Timber to Mikalenko or Lewis to Mikalenko, and whichever one I do will be dependent on if and what I do as my other move. And I don't have Mbeumo, and I think at home to Spurs next week. I know that you're set up nicely with them. I think I might do Eze to Mbuemo, which would then mean Timber to Mikolenko. I would have to do to free up the money, and then that still means only 2 Liverpool. My other option maybe is to go Kanate. Don't know that I can trust that he'll play both the games. As I said, don't necessarily think maybe away to Everton's not bad defensive fixture. Away to Bournemouth's
Horrific. And
not
it's
not
probably the worst you can get at the
yeah,
moment in the league.
yeah.
I agree with that.
Sorry, it is it is
Yeah.
Bournemouth they're playing.
Away to
Yeah, but
Bournemouth, away to Everton.
Everton's Leicester,
That's it.
and Liverpool's a
Yeah.
double. Yeah, so I think that's some of the things I'm considering just now. Players like Diaz, we'd spoke about him before in pod, just doesn't interest me in this format. Doesn't really interest me in any format, in all honesty. But
Yeah. He's very, very hot and cold, and he's either got a brace in him or he's just anonymous. Gakpo is the one for me. Said it on Green Arrow Thursday, and he just looks so dangerous. I'm definitely bringing him in this week because I know they away to Everton. They're also home to Wolves the game week after in 25 as well.
Yep.
Which I think is massive. You know, I looked at Everton's third fixture and they're away to Palace, and you know, was looking at Ndai, looking at Calvert-Lewin or whatever else, and couldn't really get too excited because they're away to Palace the following week, and you don't expect Everton to get anything. Like if they were like home to Leicester, if they were home to Southampton or whatever else, so maybe a bit more interested. But I do think that home to Wolves game for Liverpool is a lovely point to get even more points from someone like Gakpo. And then look to move off. Then I think the big thing with me decided on transfers. No, I've got 3 now, pretty well set up. I've got Pickford already, and Salah and Trent. I've already got on Mbuemo, which I'm really pleased with. Is whether or not I want to. I'm not very good at planning ahead in FPL. In terms of like people love the whole plan to go through Game Week 29. I know you quite like it as well, don't know? You know who's going to play, who's going to blank and stuff. And I think I'm just so wrapped up in the other games a lot of the time. I just cannot give myself the headspace to make transfers 6 game weeks before something may or may not happen, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think what I'm going to do is just look to 24 and 25, bring in Gakpo. I think I'm going to free hit in 29. Now I did this last year and it was a disaster last year. But obviously that's just one week and there were lots of blanks as well. But I quite like the thought of there's a few teams who give me 25 and 28. I think Brentford, Palace, and Bournemouth have got a really nice run of games in that period between 25 and 28. Free hit in 29, wildcard in 30. And I think with that in mind, I'm not even going to focus on who may blank or not in 29. And I think that helps me sort of mentally prepare myself for looking a bit more just for the games in front of me rather than trying to think 6 weeks down the line. Because I just don't believe in it either, rightly or wrongly. I don't play the chips very well in FPL. I haven't done previously, but I just don't believe in trying to look 6 weeks down the line and making a transfer based on that because so many things change. So I think that's going to be my preferred route, and with that in mind, I'm probably going to target those teams with my transfers. I'll probably just get Gakpo for next week. I think I do have to do a double transfer to release funds, but with my second transfer, I'll release funds by moving someone to Palace, Bournemouth, may look at Kluivert, may look at Utara, may look at someone like that to release the funds to get to Gakpo. So I think in a wildcard in 30, I think this is incredibly loose plan. Assistant manager 31 to 33, obviously depended on how the doubles fall. And then it's still got bench boost. I'll probably play my triple captain in 24, begrudgingly on Salah, because I do agree with you. I think it's probably not as optimal as it may looked a few weeks ago, but not really sure we're going to get like a better opportunity. I don't know. That's my loose plan. Have you got a loose plan yet for 29? Knowing you'll probably try and work through it and stay flexible, is my guess.
Yeah, I was going to try and dead end into 29.
Into 29.
Yeah.
And then wildcard in 30.
I'll need to have a look at the stats, and maybe this is something to talk about more on next week's pod about those three teams that you mentioned, I agree, their fixture runs are phenomenal. If those three teams are likely to play in 29 as well,
Yeah. Yeah, I
then
get that. Yeah. Yeah.
that makes
Yeah.
like that like almost like a no brainer type play, like
Yeah.
bringing in those
Yeah.
players. I'm looking at Clivert for 25 as well. I think they start that amazing run. It's away to Southampton, right?
Yeah.
They start their amazing run after just pummeling all the best teams
After
in the
scoring
last
9
three
goals
games.
in 2 games.
Yeah. So definitely something I'm looking at, and I am with these 2 or 3 moves that I make this week. I am keeping an eye on what my team will look like coming out of this. I think that's equally as important to me as well. I mean, moving anyone to Mikolenko to me makes some element of sense based
Yeah.
on his price point
Yeah.
being not a starter in defence for me. I've got Castagna still, so as you've got Robinson, so I think Fulham's got like not bad fixtures coming out of this as well. So he can be my third defender along with Gabriel and Trent. So I'm not too worried about that. But it's the midfield and the forward slots. Um, you just mentioned Brentford there. Visser should be good for that run as well, even though he's not got pens. So yeah, few options definitely. I think I'm okay going into this because I've been saving up the transfers and I've already got Pickford and I've already got the two main what I would say Liverpool assets. And if I wanted to go Gakpo, I can make that work.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Looks like Robinson has just jumped up in the bonus. He's just jumped 3 points, jumped into the bonus, maybe. Interesting. They get the clean sheet points in another few minutes.
well, in fairness, in the first half, whilst I said it was dull, he was like in the left
He's
wing
superb,
position,
isn't he?
like crossing constantly.
JC, really good point. We know the Game Week 29 blanks ahead of Game Week 25, though, so only one more week. Yeah, definitely agree. And to your point as well, Paul, if those 3 teams play in 29 and the run continues, makes absolute sense, but I can't make transfers based on a game week 6 weeks in advance or 5 weeks in advance. So yeah, we will know ahead of 25. JC, that's a really really good point. Yeah, I'm on 64 for the week, 432k. Looks like the smallest of greens so far. But as you say, as soon as these clean sheet points kick in now for Fulham, and maybe United, but likely more Fulham, it may slide to a red arrow, which would be a shame. But two very on the cusp red arrows back to back, but pretty well set, I think, for 25. Let's catch up with the chat quick. Windy is in. Lots of people want to talk about TFF. We can maybe talk about that next. Rishi is in as well. Bobby Shearer, Martin Beasley, Anup, Kieran Sutton, Viney, Steve Ricks, Peter Clinch, my old headmaster. Great to have you all with us. Thanks for joining us this evening. The game must be boring to have such a good lobby in with us. Yeah, should we talk TFF? Oh, you start. You start, because I'll just put everyone to sleep.
Well, remember I took Clivert out
Yeah.
a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
I did get half his good run, and I just felt the time was right. I did move him on to Isaac, so like, and the other person I would have taken out at the time was Foden,
Yeah.
who's done well over that run as well. So it's not been it's not been a disaster. I've been running well. Kerkez has been like a revelation for me. His run of points has been pretty decent since I brought him in. I think 7-7, 1-10, 1-1-6-7. I also like him because there was a clip on after the game yesterday where there was a fan like in his face trying to get his shirt at the end of the game, and then there was just like a young girl stood beside the fan, just like obviously had just been watching the game, looked very polite and stuff, and he handed the shirt to her instead, which
Yeah.
big props. I hate this whole propaganda now with the signs.
Yeah.
Can I have your shirt? Yeah, I've been on quite a good run on Telegraph. I don't have Robinson playing, so I probably will lose rank. But as we're speaking just now, I'm up to 282nd, 54 points for the week.
Wow.
Yeah, I've got like well, I've got Isak, as many people have. I still had Gabriel yesterday. I transferred him out for Munoz today, who picked up 4 points.
Oh, you got Munoz. You eventually got Munoz.
Yeah.
He's that.
Um,
Yeah.
Kerkez and Foden is where my other points have come from.
Easy, mate.
Everything else is it's so. I've only got Sells and Goals who got net zero, and others have got Murillo and other Aina and other Forest defenders. So I did have João Gomez as well, who got sent off
Yeah.
-1, albeit been pretty happy with his returns,
Yeah,
and
he's done all right, me.
even got sent off. He only got -1 yesterday, so it wasn't a disaster. I'm not planning on using many transfers up until the FA Cup weekend,
Yeah,
and then I'll
same.
have a rethink about it then, unless I pick up an injury or such. Like my team's okay. I've got Fernandez, and we talked about value not really meaning that much in Telegraph just now because Saka, Haaland, like most people don't have Haaland, and Saka not being in the game just now, so he can stay for a little while
Yeah,
longer.
they
But
they play first on FA Cup weekend. This looks like a really
yeah,
good hop off point. They hope to Leicester.
we've got nice fixtures after that as well.
Yeah,
I know they're not pulling up trees, but
yeah.
so he could stay a little while longer. But I'm open to moving him on that weekend, as you say.
Quite a few
A
teams have
few other
got.
options in it.
We'll have two fixtures in there. I suppose is the only thing. Yeah, almost all teams play twice in that period. But yeah, they are away to Spurs, away to Everton, and then they got Ipswich. So the next three actually attacking wise: Spurs, Everton, Ipswich. I say that, mate. You say that they just don't shoot. So it's all very well having him. They just don't, unless he gets a penalty, they just don't score. So, but yeah, I'm just having a disaster in Telegraph. It just seems like no matter what I do, I just can't make any progress. We've got Sal's brought in Sal's 2 weeks ago, just nothing. Munoz, Murillo, and Hall at the back. I've got Palmer, Eze, Gordon, Bruno, Salah, Isak, and yesterday I did Gabriel. So Chelsea had a 4-for-1. They had the highest kind of upside. So I brought in Jackson, which may sound a bit crazy, but plays every game. He got the assist yesterday. Home to West Ham next. So hoping for a couple of goals of Jackson over this next run, and then may even keep him potentially. But yeah, just wait till team is pretty optimal in terms of fixture quantity until the FA Cup weekend, and then same as you, I'll probably spin out 3 or 4 more transfers and kind of reconfigure my team for the next 2 to 3 weeks after that, and just try and keep hopping on to these, getting the fixture gains. It's just at the moment, even the players I pick are just not doing it. So I'm getting the fixture gains. I'm probably getting as many 2-pointers as anyone else. But at the moment, that is all it is a 2-pointer. I just can't seem to get that spark from anywhere really in my team. So I'm just stuck at like 6.5k. Just nightmare. On my 1,115 points. You're probably 100 points ahead of me now. But we'll keep soldiering on. It just hasn't worked thus far. It is still a long season, still well above average transfers. I think the average for the top 10k was 16 on Friday when you did your update. So yeah, not too much to talk about. A few people did João Gomez to Kluivert yesterday after his red card. Windy did. Richie did as well. Well
I
played.
think they did it before. A few people did it before the games, which it's not my style. I would never
Yeah,
have done that. He'd been turning over already because
yeah.
the Wolves game was after the Bournemouth game.
Richie did Jackson to Gakpo in TFF, slight rise to around 4k. He's got a question. Plan to move João Gomez to Kluivert. Would you move Murillo to Canate or Murillo and Bruno to TAA and Van Dijk? What do you think about that?
The Kanati, I just think that one, he's already been said he can't play 3 times in a week.
Yeah,
So whilst they're already qualified in the Champions League, so he probably will play the next few in the league.
yeah.
When they start playing Champions League again, it's likely he'll either be injured um, or might miss the odd game as well. I don't think I'd go Kanati personally. So I'd go the other two.
Robinson's currently on for 2 bonus in FPL, and he's turned my green into a small red. I'm down to 464 now. So yeah, if desperately need United to score, but not Bruno or Ahmad, because I haven't got either of them either. So I definitely need a Ugarte 30-yarder top bins with a Maguire assist. That'll do. I'll take that. It's not gonna happen by the sound of it. Another 8 points from Robinson. He's just an animal. 7, 8, 8 in the last 3 weeks. All sat firmly on my bench. Little bit more. Bobby's in the chat, so he's got 20 transfers on TFF. Way down 13k though. Yeah, tough season, Bobby. Join the club. And Viney, poor week in Telegraph, dropped 62nd to 100th currently with Robinson in play, so you probably get a rise there. Should we talk about Dream Team?
Yeah, just before I finish up on
Yeah,
Telegraph,
yeah.
I think there is a few opportunities, possibly not ones that I'm going to take, and it's just based on who's in my team just now. So
Yep.
if you have a look at the fixtures this weekend, Forest play
And they
Brighton
play
first game.
first.
So
Yeah, good show.
if you're sitting with all the defenders that you just mentioned
Yeah.
there, Chris Wood, there is opportunity there to move on. So whether it's Cliver, Bournemouth play Liverpool at the 3 o'clock, but Liverpool themselves will obviously have the double, so they'll have Bournemouth. Then they'll play the FA Cup where you'd expect some of their players to be rested, but then they do play Everton extra game before the next round of Premier League games as well. So there is an opportunity there. I also still like, even though they didn't play particularly well today, I still like Palace, and the reason being that we know that Glasner goes strong in the FA Cup, and they play Doncaster in the FA Cup, and whilst you might not move, I guess, onto well, attacking and defensive wise, Man United's not it's not a red fixture anymore, is
No,
it?
is
So
it hell?
there's opportunity there, but similarly, there's opportunity on the FA Cup weekend. I think they play the Monday night, so you could wait and see team lineups from that fixture there. So yeah, I think there's definitely a few opportunities. And Buemo plays the 2 p.m. at home to Spurs. They don't play the FA Cup
Yeah.
now. They're out. Plymouth put them out. So it's whether you think that the Premier League fixtures are strong enough for them.
Yeah, look, I get it. I just can't. It's just so hard to see who's going to play um in the FA Cup. Um, yeah, it's tough. It's a tough one. Looking at Bournemouth, right, as you say, Clive, even home to Liverpool, looks really good, and they got Everton in the cup. Maybe Bournemouth if you're not at 3 in the back potentially. Yeah, but it's who you think are going to play in the FA Cup, and that's the thing. As you say, Palace probably will think Eze's played in most of the cup games this season, haven't he? So
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, Dream Team. How was your week so far this week?
Pretty average-ish. 95 points. Um, I brought in Rogers last week, and he looks shot, like tired. Um, he has played feels like he's played every game that he's been available for
Yeah. I think he
Villa
has, hasn't
this
he?
season. I know they brought in Donny Mallon now as well, so maybe his minutes are going to be limited. I brought in Madison. I don't think that's the wrong choice, and I know he didn't play today, and I could have brought in Kulusevski, who's 70% owned in the top 1K, who I didn't own. Porro has been brilliant for me since I brought him in. I know he was quite a popular transfer in this week. Double Liverpool defence. Everyone has Trent, but Van Dijk was maybe a bit of differential against the Arsenal defence, which I don't have. So them conceding in the 90th minute was a bit gutting.
Yep.
And it looks like Onana is possibly going to haul now, and I swapped him for Martinez. So not the best. Captain Talon though, so I was
Yeah.
happy with that. I think I don't think I was ever really considering Salah, thinking that he wouldn't play midweek anyway, and the fact he only got 11 points in that fixture was pretty good outcome. So I'm sitting on 95 for the week, which say feels pretty average. I think I've dropped like 10 places in overall rankings. Um, I'll maybe let you talk through your team and then we can chat about thinking with transfers coming up.
Yeah, I took a risk this week. Thought about it long and hard. I did take Isak out. Obviously, in hindsight, it looks like a mistake. But I think a lot of points on that. So Spurs are playing again this week, home to Elfsborg. Hoping Son plays in that, obviously with Maddison. So I did Isak to Son. So Isak got 18, Son only got 4 against Leicester. And I did Gabriel to Maddison. And the reason I did Gabriel, I know Arsenal double, but what I've done quite well this season is plan ahead and try and almost get ahead of the curve a little bit. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And I suppose that's the way I'm looking at it, is play a certain way and it has its upside. But then it also has its downside, and I've had plenty of upside this season. I've had plenty of luck. I've had, I was really early on Foden, for example, before anyone was even looking at him. I brought him in, and he was hauling 17 points, and things like that. Porro, Kulusevski, all these players kind of on them. One of the sort of first adopters. So I tried it this week. Hasn't worked so far. There is a game to go though, but I am disappointed because I was 17th overall. Currently dropped to, I think I'm 38th. But that, as I say, that's mainly, well, I took out Isak and Gabriel for a combined 27 points. But Isak and Gabriel don't play. Well, Isak definitely doesn't play this week. I feel Arsenal are going to rotate and Liverpool are going to rotate in Europe as well. So I'm hoping to have sort of 6 or 7 players playing in Europe this week, where I feel a lot will only have maybe 2, 3 or 4, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. This happened the other week when we sold Trent, if you remember, in the FA Cup game. Yeah. I was 25th and got off to an absolute nightmare. Trent, people were using max capped as well, so lost 34 points in by 1 o'clock on the Saturday, but still managed a green arrow overall. So the week's not over till it's over, and that's the way I'm looking at it. But again, I'm kind of thinking of it that I've always played this way, and sometimes it goes for you, and sometimes it doesn't. I'm still bringing Isak back. Sorry, just a touch on transfers for next week. So my plan was, I think I'm going to do Haaland to Isak this week. So City only have one fixture away to Arsenal, which I think is a really, really tough game. So I'm going to do Haaland to Isak this week, assuming Son and Maddison are both fit, because they double again next week. So I'm happy to do Haaland to Isak this week to have a front line of Son, Isak and Salah. And I need to make a keeper transfer. So I've still got Dubravka, just because I didn't know who to move him to, because obviously we're going to know now this week who is going to be in the playoffs and who isn't. And I just hoped for one more start. And he got the start, even though they conceded, he still got 4 points. So I'm kind of happy with that. But I don't like making keeper transfers. What I did want to do is make a transfer and then potentially have to make one again next week.
He might end up playing 2 games next week as well.
He might, but I saw the Pope was on the bench, so I'm not sure really. Eddie Howe has come out and said, the spot is up for grabs. Whoever's playing the best will be the number one. So he might play twice, but then he may just lose his place. So I don't know what the answer is there. Really, one to ponder this week. So that's my loose plan. It's probably Haaland to Isak, Dubravka to whoever. If any of them do, right? Because there is a scenario where every team except for Man City qualify directly in the top 8. I think that's right. And
Villa won't now.
Villa won't. What? Definitely won't. Aren't they like 9th overall though?
Are they?
I think they are. Yeah, I think so. I think they've got a chance still of finishing in the top 8 if they win and results go their way, sort of thing. So
yeah.
But yeah, I just wanted to be sure, really. So yeah.
Oh, sorry, you're right. They are 9th.
Yeah, they got a chance. Kyle Wells did Lewis to Porro and Isak to Maddison. Was on Son, but changed watching the Tonic deadline stream. I mean, the Maddison thing is just purely unlucky, right? I mean, even if he hadn't done much against Leicester, he would have still got probably 5 or 6 points. He's that kind of player. So yeah, that's just unlucky, you know, and it's highs and lows. That's the thing in this game. It's you know, you just have to. It's easy to forget the luck we've had when it goes against us. They're the things we always forget. JC just confirmed they're behind Leverkusen on goal difference, but they're home to Celtic, aren't they? So I think you probably expect Villa to win. I'm not sure whether, you know, again, there's I think all 18 games kicking off at the same time, aren't they? It's going to be a real spectacle to watch that table just going up and down every minute. It's going to be really good. Steve Rick said he picked Madison in Dream Team. He was okay last night on Instagram, and then all of a sudden he's injured. Yeah, just one of those things, I think. Yeah, what's your thinking on, you know, on the coming week or two in Dream Team?
Yeah, because I've got Madison's same situation as well. So I think I'm going to get rid of Rodgers. It's only got a second goal away to Wolves. So I was originally going to do Rodgers and Haaland to Kulusevski and Anthony Gordon. I still might do those moves. But if Madison's out, then I might leave Haaland in and do the two midfielder moves instead.
I'm not as hot on Gordon as I was a few weeks ago. I think the fixtures have stiffened now. Fulham and Arsenal, two hard games.
Both home.
Both of them are home. Yeah, absolutely. And I do think Isak is, you know, bordering on essential. I'll definitely be getting Isak back, just the 4 he's in on penalties. I think Gordon, you know, he could do well, but I'm just not sure that the fixtures are good enough for him to sort of, you know, even if he gets 12 points, because he's not doubling the week after, is that worth a transfer in and out? I'm not sure. I suppose that's the question I always ask myself when I'm bringing in someone.
They're playing Birmingham the week after. I think Gordon plays.
In the FA Cup.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, fair point. Yeah. Anything else on Dream Team?
I think that's it. I think Son is an interesting one. Well, Thursday's team lineup's going to be interesting based on injuries and such like as well. Because if Madison had been fit today, I would have still maintained that I didn't think Son would play on Thursday. That Moore would play in that fixture, but with them having so many injuries, it's pretty hard to tell which 11 he's going to put out week on week.
I think as well, though, I mean, after losing today, as much as I don't want it, apparently United have scored, according to Richie. United have scored, apparently, according to Richie. Martinez, maybe, was it? Come on, Richie, let us know. I think he put Martinez, but maybe he spelt it wrong. Martinez. Man United goal. Was not expecting a United win. What was it, about 50 minutes left? Wow, that is a clean sheet wipeout for Fulham, if that is right. Which I am not disappointed with, as I don't own any Fulham defenders in any form. You
don't own Robinson in TFF?
No. I took him out a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, so you did? Yeah, I remember. I talked you into doing it. Well, I'm not saying you wouldn't have come to that conclusion anyway, but I was definitely for you doing it when you did it.
If it's a Martinez goal, does that mean it's Bruno assist off like a
I think he stepped out from.
Have a look.
Nah, it's the ball's cleared. And then his shot takes a deflection as well.
So undeserved, apparently. According to United fans, is what I'm reading on Twitter. So undeserved. But yeah, this is what happens. On Dream Team, just looking ahead, as you alluded to, just with the fixtures for the next week or two. Sorry, my internet is a bit slow this evening. All my pages take a little while to update. No assist, Viney says. Looking ahead now to next week. Man City have got a single away to Arsenal. I'm definitely holding on to Foden because I think Foden has probably got a chance of playing in the FA Cup the week after as well. Haaland probably has as well, but I'm holding on to Foden. Arsenal double. They've got Man City at home, Newcastle away, which are two really, really hard games. Liverpool have got Bournemouth away, Spurs at home. I think they'd probably concede in both, but they'd probably score a few goals, especially against Spurs. United got a single, Newcastle got a double, home to Fulham, home to Arsenal, Villa single, as you say, Spurs double, away to Brentford, away to Liverpool. Again, I expect definitely concede, but a few goals as well. And then just looking at the week after, there are only 2 teams who double the week after, which is why I've kind of been stocking up on Liverpool with Van Dijk. They're away to Plymouth, away to Everton. I'm not sure Van Dijk plays in the Plymouth game, but he'll definitely play in the Everton game. And Everton have got obviously Bournemouth and Liverpool. So, but we're going to know the playoffs, which for me is the key thing by by the end of this week. But Arsenal blank then completely in game week 23. They're not going to have an FA Cup game at all. But after that, their fixtures do ease considerably. Their next 3 games away to Leicester, home to West Ham, away to Forest. You can see a few clean sheets there, can't you? As well as obviously they'll have some Champions League stuff then as well.
It's a pity there's no real attacking options. Like,
yeah, there's no. I mean, you could go for Trossard or Havertz or something, but you have no idea really of what's going to happen. How's the ultimate leaderboard looking, mate?
You are currently sitting in 14th. I am sitting in 5th. So top 10, we've got Carl in 10th, Clive Fisher in 9th, Ald Wilcox in 8th, Carl Bennett in 7th, Connor Tobin in 6th. As I mentioned, I'm in 5th. Actually, Gavin Shirley and Connor Tobin and myself have all got an average mini league rank of 14th.
Nice.
So we're all neck and neck. Dan Sherwood just ahead of us in 3rd with an average of 13.7. Tom Gledall has got a nice cushion with average 9th in 2nd place, and then Johnny Curry still out 1st. I did have a look at his Telegraph position. I think he's got 5 teams exactly the same because he plays in your league. And I had made up some ground on him, but I think he's opened that back up again. I think he's got about a 20-point lead on me. Dan Cox overtook me, but I know that his transfer count is much better than mine as well. So I think that was an elevated position of me against him. But yeah, well done, Johnny. Still sitting 3rd in Dream Team, 9th in FPL, and 1st in Telegraph with an average mini league ranking of 4.3.
It is a tough old league, this one, mate. I know we say it every week, but geez, like, I think I'm having a half decent season, and I'm 37th or a 51 in Telegraph. Okay, that's not the best, but I'm also 20th in FPL. I mean, or a 51. It's really, really hard going. So yeah, and this is why we love it. And this is why whoever wins definitely deserves the accolade of the ultimate fantasy manager, because you'll have had to play so well in every format to win this, or get in the top sort of 2 or 3. So yeah, very well played, Johnny, and everyone else. Just looking down, masses of Haaland captainers in Dream Team. Only Carl Weeks captain Salah, and nearly everyone went for Salah in FPL. So no real gains on the captaincy there, but I think there is still quite a lot of variance. Definitely in Telegraph, definitely in Dream Team. Lots of people have gone all different ways. I've seen some people with like triple Arsenal defense. I've seen some like myself with none. The Madisons, the Sons, the Gordons, the Rogers, the Isaks, and whatever else. So it's really nice to see the variation and massive swings, every week. Like, I'll gain 30 points on someone one week and lose it the next. It's really interesting.
The FA Cup weekend in Dream Team's going to be, so not this weekend coming, but the weekend after is going to be very interesting in my opinion, because last time we had the FA Cup, we had a whole host of Premier League.
It was a second fixture. You're right.
The second fixture, so you weren't losing your Haalands or your Fodens. I'm not suggesting they will or won't play against Leyton Orient. I think
Leyton Orient away.
It opens us up massively. It brings Eze back in the conversation
because
you know that Crystal Palace was strong in the cup, and he's a darling in this game anyway. So and you've got Liverpool who've got the double that week, albeit most of their players will only play one of them.
This is it.
Everton, if they went strong, would you take a gamble on Pickford perhaps with 2 fixtures that week? So that'll be a very interesting week in my opinion. We're going to pod next
Sunday, I hope. Sunday.
So that'll be ahead of that, and I think we'll have one eye on the fixtures at that point.
Yeah, thanks for everyone watching, listening as well. Just around the flexibility of us. With either one of us have either I've been working away or been doing something like next week. I'm on holiday next week. I'm taking advantage of the break in the FPL schedule to take a few days abroad. So yeah, we'll try and squeeze in a potential on the Sunday night before we go if we can. But yeah, thank you, Paul. Really good chat as usual. Really excited to see how the rest of the week pans out. Looking forward to a Spurs 5-0 win on Thursday against Elfsborg. Son hat-trick, Madison brace. That'll do. Chuck me right back up into the top 15 or 20. Can't see it happening the way Spurs are playing, sadly, but you never know. But yeah, thanks for everyone for joining us, those watching live and those listening, and we will catch you next week. Cheers all.